people, Rio Wolfhard here. Today I want to show you one of my amps. It's an old Marshall from 1978. I bought this amp about 1 year ago from a guy from a city that's about an hour from where I live. So I found it online and I drove there, I checked it out, I really liked it, and it was kind of cheap. It was like about 800 or 900 bucks, which is, I find, is a pretty cool deal for an old Marshall. I checked the serial number and everything, and it really seems to be an old amp, so I think that should be true. And it has some modifications, and actually the modifications that made it cheaper make it better for me. So the first modification, it has an effect loop built at the back. I don't really use that. I don't think it sounds good. I could go a technician and let him check that and maybe rebuild that effect loop. But the other modification is something I really like about that amp. It used to be a 100 watt Marshall amp with stock EL34 tubes, and the guy decided to bring him down to 40 watts or something like that. So that really makes him quieter, that amp. And also he switched the tubes. He switched the output tubes from EL34 to 6L6s, I think. So I believe the 6L6s are the tubes that are that you would normally find in Fender amps. And I think it really gives the amp a much fatter sound, and the treble is not as piercing as in many Marshalls. You find that the treble is really piercing in your ear, and it's just not nice. It hurts. So that's something I really like. In the intro, I use something to boost that amp. I'll show you why. It's just a Mojo. You can buy that for 40 bucks. It's not expensive. Well, I'll turn it off right now. So this is just the amp sound that I'm using right now. Okay, and here's the reasons why I love this amp so much. It just inspires me. That's the first reason. No overdrive turned on, just me going straight into the amp. The amp turned up quite a bit, and it's just such an inspiring sound. That's the first reason I love it. Second reason, it moves air. It moves air like crazy. I played many different amps. My first real amp was a Vox AC30, great, I love Vox. Then I played an Engel, then I played a Lanny. I tried a bunch of different amps, basically everything there is out there. Well, probably not everything. And there's tons of great amps, but I keep coming back to Marshall. And I guess that's because Marshall just has this mid-focused sound. And as a guitarist, that's what you need. If you want to cut through a band where there's another mid-focused instrument, like in my case, Wolf Spirit, we have my brother plays Hammond organ, and Hammond organ is a beast. Like it can really push you away easily as a guitar player. I mean, a Hammond organ can sound almost identically like another guitar. If you play it through another guitar amplifier, put on some distortion, and play the right voicings, it sounds like a second guitar. When you're in a situation like that, you want to cut through the mix, you want to compete, and that's when you need mid-focus. And that's what the Marshall really gives me. It really lives in that mid-frequency. It really lets the guitar sing, and I guess that's what's so inspiring when playing Marshall. So here's my settings. The overdrive is turned off. The master is turned up quite high. I'll show you how I dial in my master. Let's start from down here. And this may crackle the party because it's an old party. I mean, this amp is over 40 years old. You know what I mean? Right here, it sounds cool, but kind of thin. I like to do it like this. Just play the open A string. right now it starts to get thick. Of course it's getting loud, but listen to the tone, because it's really getting thick right now. And at this point right here, you can really hear the tube saturation coming in. And now it starts to distort. Right here, this is full tube saturation. At this point, at about 9, which is quite high. But right now it's not getting any louder anymore if I keep turning it up. It's just getting thicker and more distorted. So that would be the point where I can definitely stop. I can even go back a little bit. Right about there. That's where I feel there's a good amount of tube saturation, but not too much. It's not getting woofy. It's not too distorted. Pretty cool. And the preamp, like if I start way from the beginning, it's clean. Marshall clean. Because my master's turned up so high and already giving me some good amount of distortion, I don't really need the preamp that much. So at about 9 o'clock, that's where my preamp is set. And at this point, I can start putting on, if I want more distortion. I mean, this is a cool rhythm tone. It really chugs, it feels great. But if you want more distortion, no problem. You can put on any kind of pedal, like this trusty old Mojo. Oh, and another thing I like about it, it has a master volume built in. So if you're playing in small clubs, like most of the time, it's really useful to have a master volume. So people, there you have it. That's my Marshall amp. Hope you liked that little rig rundown. Leave a comment in the box. Please subscribe, and see you next time. Thanks for watching.